Yo, what is going on, everybody? We are back. Great Sixers content creators up here, man. What's going on, everybody? RB here. We have Steven Conrad, DJ Eastwood, Romp 2.0. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We already got a bunch of people up in here, man. This is your annual Sixers therapy session. Tough loss last night. Man, there's a lot to talk about. We're going to preview Game 5, which is tomorrow. I don't even understand why it's tomorrow. Like, we had 2 days between Game 3 and 4, and then we have 1 day on a travel day. I don't understand it. But anyway, we're here. We're going to let out frustrations. We're going to get your thoughts, and we have a lot to talk about. But let's go around the table. What's going on, Romp?
I'm doing good, you know. It was a tough night.
Don't lie.
I mean, I'm doing terrible, to be honest, but it was a tough night's sleep, and I couldn't even look at Twitter, to be honest. I just went right to bed. I usually stay up pretty late, but I just went right to bed and woke up, and I was like, oh, damn, this sucks. But hopefully we pulled together, man.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I'll just say, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, right before we hopped on the live stream, I think we all came to the conclusion, at least for me, I'm not going to speak on everyone else's behalf. If the Sixers find a way to lose the series, man, like, you guys are going to have to literally pull me from my grave, man. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to do. Honestly, we're going to get into it, but I thought we should have swept them if you just break down every single game. But it looks like this series is going to go at the very least 6 games. So, look, therapy it is. Therapy is required, man. Here we are.
Yo, run it back. I guess that's the topic we're going to start with. If the Sixers find a way to lose this series. Dude, I didn't even want I made a video this morning. I didn't even want to do it. Like, it was horrible. And for the first time last night, I literally logged out of Twitter. I went to the settings and hit log out, put my phone on the couch because I knew I would just sit there and argue with people all night, and I just couldn't handle it. But yeah, you know, hopefully that's the lowest we get in this series, because that was just not fun.
Yeah, man, it's just rough. As you guys can hear, I'm still congested. I'm even sicker after last night, both physically and mentally, because of the Philadelphia 76ers. I'll start with this, man. Like, last night's game, and I said this on my video today too. Like DJ said, I did not want to make a video today. Like, I've never, like, we literally had the series in our hands. Like, the Hawks were done. They were down and out. You could see it. Halftime, we were up. I don't even know how many points. It was like, okay, the Hawks are done. This is the series right here. And then the momentum absolutely shifted, and we gave it right back to them. There were so many chances down the stretch to win that ball game. And for us, the more experienced team, the more experienced coach, and we just give it up like that. Like, I tweeted this out, and then I got off Twitter as well. But, like, that loss did not sit right with me. It still does not. We should not have lost that game. And I'll just throw this out there. I'll let you guys go around the table with this. But a lot of people seem to be so confident we're winning this in 6 games. Let me tell you something right now. Like I said before Game 1, everything hinges on Joel Embiid's health. Like, we have 1 day to rest here. If Joel Embiid doesn't come out and look like he did at the beginning of the series, and don't give me this stuff, oh, he had 21 rebounds yesterday. No, he was not the same player yesterday. You saw it from the opening tip to the final moments. He was not the same athlete yesterday. And if he is not tomorrow, well, guess what? We have pressure on us. If we don't win that game, we go down 3-2 tomorrow, and we go back to Atlanta. I'll leave you guys with that. You let me know what you guys think.
So what do you think? Go ahead. You go first.
I was going to say, I mean, we were up by 18 points at one point, and we came out in the second half and just gave them hope. And it was all of our fault. I mean, John Collins of all people completely turned the game around with his offensive rebounding. Dude. Think about this. The Hawks got back in the game because they were missing shots, because we couldn't get a rebound. Are you kidding me? The Hawks got back in the game. Let me repeat that. By missing shots. Tobias Harris, you got to box out, bro. Your defense has been horrendous this series. I know you're Mr. Efficient, but I'm not impressed with Tobias this series at all. I don't know. That's all I wanted to say. Missing shots, they got back in the game. Unreal.
Dude, John Collins was having a dunk contest. Those putbacks were insane. The first one, the big one, I was like, I hate this team, but that was nice. I want to see that again.
Yeah.
Let me know what do you guys think about tomorrow's game? Like, how much pressure do you think is on us to win that game? Do you think it's in the bag, as some people would say? Do you think it's, the Hawks aren't getting another one in this series? What do you guys think about that?
So that's the thing, man. You look at the game yesterday, we have an 18-point lead. It seems like all the pressure in the world was on the Hawks to win that game. We have an 18-point lead, about to go up 3-1. And for whatever reason, we blow that 18-point lead. And honestly, I don't care that we're playing at home and we're the better team, this and that. The pressure's back on us now. We have all the pressure in the world. We have to win. We're at home. We're the 1 seed. You know what I mean? All the pressure in the world is on the Sixers just because they blew an 18-point lead. And I'll just add this, guys. I do not mean to be negative whatsoever, but what team, like what serious championship team blows an 18-point lead like that to the 4th seed? Like, look, I think we can turn this around, and I honestly think we're going to win this series. Right now, it's just hard to think that positively, honestly, even, basically 24 hours later. But I don't know how you can look at this team and look at that game yesterday and be like, yeah, this team's going to go on to win the whole thing, because I just don't see it right now.
Yeah, I think there's 2 versions of this team. That's the main frustration, is that they're so inconsistent, because they'll look just unstoppable and dominant in one game, and then they'll look like they looked the second half of last night. But Joel Embiid looked like he didn't even sleep the night before. Like, I can't figure out. He didn't look – that's the worst he looked this series. I feel like that's the worst he looked these playoffs. I don't understand what happened between Game 3 and Game 4, And apparently it was B-Ball Paul's birthday day before. They were in Atlanta. I'm just saying. Yeah. NBA players in Atlanta on a birthday. They might have been VIP somewhere. They might not have slept. It looked like he didn't sleep. Joel had a flu game, someone said in the comments.
There was something off with Joel. I'm telling you guys, they must, it's typical Sixers to someone gets injured, re-aggravate something, they don't tell us about it, but he just was not the same yesterday. And then people want to come at us and say, oh, well, you weren't saying that when he was putting up 40 in Game 2. Yeah, because he did not look the same. Like, he was grabbing his knee. He was huffing and puffing down the floor. His hands were on his knees all game. And we're going to talk about the other star of this team that, was nowhere to be found. We're going to talk about it. I'm about to pull up a quote because – it was brought to my attention by Romp here in the top right. He probably shouldn't have even showed it to me. But
I thought it was a joke at first.
No, it is a joke. You're right. But shout out to Philly Mike, our guy, Philly Talk Podcast, coming with the $2 donation. Says we scored 34 in the second quarter and 38 in the second half. 38 points in the second half. We literally at halftime, I was so comfortable, right? We spent the last 3 games talking our stuff, pumping our chest. I've never seen a momentum flip like that. And it seems like it's always the Sixers in the second round. Why can't we have it easy for once?
Never.
And I didn't see like some kind of crazy defensive strategy from Atlanta. Like, it's not like we're even talking about like, oh, Atlanta ramped up the defense in the second half. Like, I didn't even see anything that much different defensively from them. We just sucked straight up. We just started to suck. I don't even know how to explain it.
Well, I'll tell you what happened, and I mean, we all saw it, man. Like, look, I'll give credit to Atlanta. They're a young, gritty, hungry team. We lost the game. We shot ourselves in the foot, okay? Ben Simmons shot the ball, one time in the second half? Joel Embiid went 0 for 12. We kept on running through him. Where the heck did Tobias Harris go? I thought he was actually solid in the first half.
2 shots in the fourth quarter for Tobias.
He got benched in the fourth quarter. I thought Seth Curry was on fire. Where did he go? I literally felt like we were running the game through Shake Milton and Joel Embiid, and we just lived or died with that. And, I mean, I don't know. You have Furkan taking 2 big, key shots. Like, what? Come on, man.
I have a question for you guys. So Joel's clearly, like, he looked like he was in the worst physical condition this season easily last night, right? He's 0 of 12 in the second half shooting. Like, I don't know about you guys. So when we go – into the commercial break, right? We have that last possession there where they draw up. I mean, Embiid got an awesome look. Obviously, he's got to make that regardless of what his health is. I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking, Doc, you got to drop a play for anybody but Joel right now. He's 0 of 12. And I just don't. I thought Atlanta wasn't going to expect it. I thought that was the opportunity to draw something up for Tobias. This guy was our second closer throughout the season. I don't know what he was doing the whole second half. So I don't know about you guys. Like, obviously it's a make or miss league, and it's easy to say now because Joel missed the layup, the easiest shot he's ever going to get. But would you have gone to somebody else in that situation? Like, I thought there was no offense besides that possession. The whole fourth quarter was just dump the ball to Joel. He's double teamed. He's still gonna take a shot because Doc's out here deploying lineups with no shooting. Like, he had Matisse out there and Ben, in crunch time. That's not gonna work. Come on.
Yeah, dude, not just the last possession. I was screaming the whole fourth quarter. I didn't understand it. Every single play was a dump to Joel Embiid, and he couldn't make a shot, and we just kept doing it. I couldn't. And to your point about the second half looked like it was run completely through Shake Milton and Tobias Harris. Ben Simmons had 8 assists in the first half and 1 in the second. The first half, he was running with the ball in his hands. He was finding Seth Curry and everybody wide open left and right. And all of a sudden, the second half, he was nowhere to be found. So as much as I scream about him, it's a combination of him and the game plan at the same time, it seems like.
And I'll add to that, too, because that's interesting you bring that up, Steven. There was a quote after the game. I forgot to talk about it on my video today. But they asked Doc Rivers, with the game on the line, that last play, did you think about giving it to anybody else? Pretty much the same thing you just said. And this was Doc's quote. And I want to know if you guys agree with this or not, because I personally do not in this situation. He said, I've been coaching the game a long time.
Oh, here we go.
No matter what, you go with your stars in the key moments, even if they're not having a good game. I'm paraphrasing. He said, even if they're not having a good game, those are your guys. You rock with them. It doesn't matter. And I disagree with that. I tend to say, okay, that's fine. We had a good look. He missed the layup. But if Joel's hurt and if he's having a pitiful game, you go with a hot hand, man. Maybe Tobias, Seth. I don't agree with Doc Rivers on that. Not at all.
Yeah, Doc is scaring me. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting Brett Brown vibes from him with his weird rotations, just riding with the bench unit. I know everyone was like, oh, he's not going to play all bench in the playoffs, but I was like, yeah, he is. He's that type of stubborn. This dude is very, very stubborn, and he's like, it's my way or the highway, you know what I'm saying? So Doc Rivers is kind of scaring me, not only for this series, but for against the Bucks or the Nets. Like, I'm scared. Like, Doc Rivers is one of my biggest concerns right now for the Sixers.
Yeah, I think I mean, he's obviously a better coach than Brett Brown. Like, he knows the game better and things like that, but definitely the same level of stubbornness, the same level of I know more than everybody in the world, and you guys are all idiots, and I'm going to do it my way. And I mean, his rotations have been bad. His just forcing it to Joel when he's clearly having a bad game. His love for Shake Milton that I still don't understand, even though Shake wasn't horrible last game. Doc scares me too. And the thing is, we just hired him to try to fix what Brett Brown was doing. And Brett Brown was at least publicly telling Ben Simmons to shoot the ball. This guy's literally telling him not to. And I'm like, so if this is a bad decision of hiring him, they're not just going to fire him right away. So we might have 3 years of this.
Yeah, this is crazy. And then here's another great point. And I was screwing about this last night. And people were saying, and Doc literally shut this down as well. He was like, oh, no, I thought Curry had a good look. No, you didn't. He double clutched. He was like, yeah, I thought he almost made it. Shake Milton, man, had a wide open three. It was actually a defensive miscommunication. If you saw Collins, he didn't know what he was doing. And Shake didn't even look at the basket. He had a good look and didn't take it. And I'm just
shouldn't even have been in that position, man. You know what I mean? Like, the bench, I think, left in the middle of the fourth quarter with the 4-point lead. We had a 4-point lead, I think, with like 2 minutes left because Korkmaz bailed Simmons out. He had the ball right under the rim. I'm not sure why he didn't go up with it. Joel gave him an awesome pass. He kicks out to Korkmaz. When he hits that 3, we're up 4. I'm like, oh, this is over. Just get a couple stops and run the clock out. And, well, we didn't box out all game. Plays right into the hand of not just the Hawks, but that crowd. The crowd feeds off of that when they're getting those offensive rebounds, man. Like, it sucks. Like, I think we're going to win tomorrow night, but honestly, like, going back to Atlanta for a closeout game is going to be tough. We should take care of business, but why should I be confident after what I've seen in this series?
I agree.
Dude, what other max contract player is on the bench is on the bench when their team needs a bucket with 6 seconds left. Your $170 million guy is on the bench, and you have a G League All-Star bringing the ball up the floor in the playoffs. That's embarrassing. It's unbelievable. And the fact that there's still these people out here, this brigade on Facebook that just lives and dies to defend this guy, it blows my mind.
Man.
Well, speaking of the other all-star max contract, number 1 overall pick player, Ben Simmons, great defensive game on Trae Young, but
I thought he was terrible defensively.
Really?
It wasn't as good. It wasn't as good as the games. Wasn't as good as the games before.
It wasn't as good as the games before, but I thought he did all right, in my opinion. But anyway, there was a quote today. Let me pull it up. So, obviously, actually, let me just pull the quote up before I lose my damn mind. 1 second. Because I just don't understand this anymore, and now I'm starting to get pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bang. So we're on the side. And again, shout out to everybody in here. We got 180. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're on 3 different channels. Sub to all the channels down below. So here's the quote. Let me zoom this in a little bit. And I'm going to let y'all go around the table. I just want to say one thing. As you can see, I couldn't. So Ben Simmons, after the game last night, literally goes to the podium. And after one shot attempt in the second half, he says, oh, well, I should have been more aggressive. That's what we want to hear. After that game, after that 18-point collapse, I should have been more aggressive, okay? And I'm not saying we lost strictly because of Ben, but he says that, right? And then this game, today, Doc Rivers says, I couldn't disagree with that more, not as far as shooting. All I have to say is, didn't last game at halftime, you went to Ben Simmons and told him to be more aggressive, you're going to run the offense through. Did that not happen? Or am I losing my mind?
I hate to say this, but I'm not surprised, at how Ben Simmons is playing. I was watching with my mom and my friend, and my mom was like, "Can Ben Simmons step up?" I was like, "He's not going to step up. He's been doing this all season long. Why are we surprised that Ben isn't we've been winning with Ben putting up 6 points? So for me to talk about Ben in the playoffs, I'm not surprised. I knew this was going to happen, but I thought we could overcome it because Joel Embiid is so damn good and Tobias has been very consistent. But since Joel Embiid had a terrible night, now we're focusing on that because it's so obvious. But it's been there all year. Ben's been inconsistent all year. This is why I'm let's get rid of him. Can we just have a normal point guard, a normal player? I'm just sick of this. I need normal in my life. I'm so sick of this. Are we going to get the good Ben Simmons or the bad one? Just give me someone normal, please. Damn. That's all I got to say.
Am I losing my mind, though? Is this not the exact opposite of what he told Ben to do last game? We finally got it out of Doc to hold him accountable, right? And then he comes out here and says, couldn't disagree with that more. So does that mean he was satisfied yesterday with the second half? Please, somebody make it make sense. Please.
So that last part of the quote.
Ahead, Steve, you go. Go ahead.
That last part of the quote, he says he wants him to be more aggressive in terms of pushing the pace and facilitating. Dude, so a couple things here. Doc and Ben Simmons are to blame here. All right, look, Ben Simmons being in the dunker spot or whatever, that's not utilizing any of his skill sets. If you want him to be aggressive, you kind of have to give him the ball. And when Joel clearly that's my thing. I would love for Ben to do what he did in the other game, come out of halftime and score 12 points or whatever it was he had in the third quarter. But dude, just standing in the dunker spot is not doing anything. You're not helping Joel. You're ruining the spacing for Joel to dominate in the post. If he's this awesome passer that we all think he can be, why aren't you putting the ball in his hands and letting him be that? The blame goes on Doc, the blame goes on Ben. It's time to grow up, dude. I'm so sick of this. It's not even hating. Dude, when your best player is clearly struggling, these other max contract players you pay all this money to, their job is to make up for it. You can't sit here and blame Joel. He's playing on the last thread on his knee. This is ridiculous, man. Unacceptable.
Yeah, it's insane. I think there's got to be something more to this. Doc Rivers has to be game planning through the media so the Atlanta Hawks don't know what he's going to do next game or something like that. There's no way he's arguing with himself from one game to the next. That's exactly what he did. He said, first before that game that he said that, he went after reporters and literally argued with D. Lynam. Okay, first of all, she's goated in the Philadelphia community. Doc, you just got here. You don't yell at D. Lynam. But he was yelling at the reporters about like benching him for shooting free throws or not being able to shoot free throws. And then the next game he benches him because he can't shoot free throws.
Yeah.
So he did what he said he wouldn't do in that one. Then this one he doesn't do what he said he did in the I can't follow it at all. It makes no sense to me at all.
Every day, man.
I think he just doesn't like the media, and he's protecting Ben Simmons, and he's just up there arguing with them to try to make reporters sound stupid because the general fan base in Philadelphia absolutely hates Ben Simmons. Like outside of the people on Twitter and the people in Facebook groups that defend him every day, the general fan base hates this guy. He's been booed 2 or 3 times by the entire arena in Sixers games. So Doc's up there trying to argue with reporters to protect him. That's all I can say. That's all I can think of.
I can't like really comprehend it because as a person who has loved Ben since the day he got drafted and has defended him for these last years, and I remember last year all of us saying like, yeah, you know, finally when we get a new coach that's going to hold him accountable, like he's going to be fine. I don't know if I sent you guys this clip, but there was literally a clip of him yesterday in pregame warmups. First off, it didn't even look like he was really going through the motions. Like looked like he was lollygagging, and then he's turnaround fading from mid-range and airballing. And I'm just like, what is happening? And someone in the chat put it, he's 14 for 50 at the free throw line. 14 for 50. What? Please, somebody refresh my memory. Like, was this man not shooting for one stretch like 70% at least from the line earlier this year? Like, was it not happening? They're talking about this mental hitch. They keep wanting me to believe he has a mental hitch. I'm starting to believe it. I don't understand.
Giving me a mental hitch.
I don't understand it. We can't even send him to the line. And like you guys said earlier, with the biggest play of the game on the line, we couldn't even have him in. We couldn't have him in.
Yeah, how is he not coming down the floor with the ball passing to Seth Curry around his screen? Like that's what should be happening. But they know that if he brings the ball up, they're either just going to foul him or they're just going to triple team the guy that's going to shoot the ball because Ben's not going to do anything with it.
He doesn't care. That's what we all got to come to terms with. He does not care. I mean, just look at the evidence. Has he improved much since his rookie year besides on the defensive end? Not really. So he doesn't want to be great. And I trust Furkan Korkmaz more with the game on the line than our second star Ben Simmons. So that says enough. The Ben Simmons experience needs to die. All the defenders, oh man, the Ben Simmons defenders just love that Embiid was 4 for 20. Oh man, they were so so they could blame someone else. They were so excited for that. But in reality, Embiid defensively, I mean, they shot 36%. I mean, our offense was a problem. Embiid didn't do nothing, but you think one night someone else could step up and actually get a win for our big guy who's been there all season long, just carrying us, and he's playing on a torn meniscus. He doesn't get enough credit for that.
Yeah, that's why it just doesn't make sense to me because they're like, the reason we lost is Joel Embiid. Why are you talking about Ben Simmons? I'm like, dude, he was 0 for 12. He was trying and failing. Yeah. So you look at the rest of the team and say, hey, somebody do something. This guy's not doing it. He's not making any shots. If Michael Jordan was 0 for 12, you'd be screaming at Scottie Pippen, step up and score the ball.
Yeah. I literally saw a tweet I saw a tweet where someone today was like, it's crazy how Joel Embiid was literally on his last leg. Like the man couldn't even get lift on his final shot. And yet he was that much more like, I don't know. It's inexcusable. And with all of this that happened, with the Hawks shooting 36% from the field, we still had a chance to win the game. We were up 18 points. How do we blow that? There was only 2 guys for the Hawks that were in the 20s. And it's inexcusable. Someone else here was talking. We might as well just grill everybody. George Hill, man. What the heck happened to George Hill? Like this was our grade. I'm sorry, man. This is just a therapy session. If you guys don't want to be here, you don't have to. But look, man. What happened?
You want to hear something sad? You want to hear something sad?
Hold on, Romp. 2 days ago, we were talking about Shake Milton like this man had vanished in the thin air. Now he's our most reliable bench option. And now George Hill. Like, what happened to George Hill?
That trade hurt us in 2 ways. First off, it took away Shake Milton's confidence. And second off, I low-key think Tony Bradley would be more important than George Hill in this series. I'm not even going to lie. That's how bad George Hill has been. Yeah. It's just, like, can we catch a break? Like, we thought George Hill was going to come in, be normal, but now he's turning the ball over. He can't hit a three-pointer. He looks like a G League player. God. It's just unfortunate. I think we should have just rode with Shake Milton, make him go through a tough stretch. I don't know. It sucks. It's unfortunate because George Hill was supposed to be better than this.
He's our third best guard off the bench, guys. Tyrese Maxey, who's a rookie, is more reliable than him in the postseason. And, I don't understand. George Hill has been a great, productive player in this league. Not like an all-star. He's like a borderline starter everywhere he's been. He's actually started on some teams and been pretty good. He comes here and, this guy, I don't even know what he looks like. He's just getting cardio out there, to be honest with you. He's deferring to Tyrese Maxey when he comes out there. He was in the Bucks last year. The guy was shooting 40% from three. I don't understand what goes on when teams put on a Sixers uniform, man. Really don't know.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know what to say about George Hill. He came in here late in the season, I guess. He didn't have a lot of time to know his role and things like that. And I thought Doc should have played him with starters a lot more in at the end of the regular season and stuff like that. He gave him minimal minutes. The guy just comes in and is just like, okay, I have the ball. Now what do I do? I don't know. Definitely looks like a waste of a trade. And yeah, Tony Bradley was probably more valuable, especially the games that we had to play without Joel Embiid when we were starting Mike Scott at center. Well, George Hill's not helping us now. We would take Tony Bradley back in a second.
This hurts, man. At the end of the day, we have to look forward to Game 5. I want to hear your guys' initial thoughts. My initial thoughts is we are going to go as far as Joel Embiid's knee takes us. If he is healthy, we have a chance to really beat anybody. We should move on. We should win the next two. But if he comes out tomorrow, and I don't know how he's going to look, if he looks, shaky, if he looks iffy, it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. It is.
Yeah, I'm losing confidence, but I think, we talked about all the negatives, and we only lost by 3 points or whatever. So you got to look at it that way. We're probably going to win the series, but I think it's going to go 7 just because I don't think this team has a killer instinct to win another on the road. You're up 18 points. You simply should not lose that if you're a championship contender. But at the end of the day, we are the better team, so that should get us over the hump. But it's not going to be easy because the Hawks do not back down. So credit to them.
See, that's the thing, RB. You say this team is going to go as far as Embiid takes them, and I agree. But you know what? For this series, if Joel's 60%, we should still find a way to win. Doc, take this next day or two that we've had off. You know what I mean? Make some adjustments. You should still be better than this Atlanta Hawks team. But as far as, the next round, that's a different story. But you know what? If Joel's not, 100%, we're not able to get the job done, then guess what? Daryl Morey's got to make some moves because these guys are getting paid to be star players, and star players elevate. They elevate their play when the other guys around them aren't able to do so, and they've had, like I said, a couple days to prepare. I know we're all sitting here, and my guys, last night, I don't know about you guys, so I lost my voice. I told Luke, you could argue last night's loss was the worst loss of this era, besides the Kawhi shot. But Luke made an argument. He said this was the worst loss considering, the circumstances. We beat ourselves up. At least in that Toronto series, Kawhi was, he was on a mission. He was the best player in basketball that year. This is the Hawks we're talking about, man. We blew an 18-point lead, about to go up 3-1. All the Hawks, all their confidence, all their energy, everything was sucked away, it seemed, when we were up 18. It looked like the series was over. I was like, all right, I'm about to just relax, maybe crack open a beer. This series is over. We're going to go back in Philly and win. Now, a couple more flights. Who knows? This series could go 7 games. Momentum is everything in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Joel Embiid needs rest. So this series going 7 games is the worst thing that could happen. I just can't figure out how he looked so dominant in 3 games and then looked like he looked last night. I'm going to chalk it up to, I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't partying, but maybe he was not having good sleep. Maybe he was one of those nights where you wake up rolling over. You didn't really sleep. He looked like he didn't sleep. That's the only thing I can say. He was so tired. I don't know. And now we have a day in between flying back to Philly, which is ridiculous. But we only go as far as Joel Embiid goes. It's facts. We can win a championship even with what we consider deficiencies on the team. But yeah, it's all about whether Joel Embiid's healthy. I said today on Twitter, I'm starting to think we're never going to have a healthy season in postseason from Joel Embiid. I haven't seen one. Every single season, it's like this. Every time we get here, something happens. And somebody told me that they think Joel Embiid can play until he's 35, and I
don't know. I mean, we might have to start having a conversation about that too, man. It sucks and this year, I think last night hit us worse because of how we've seen Joel be consistent night in, night out. Like, this is a different Joel this year. So that when we see that performance last night, it's like literally, winding the clocks back a couple years. But it's tough, man. We need to win tomorrow. We have to win. I do not want to go back to the ATL down 3-2. I'll tell you that. Another thing relating to Joel's injury, before we start previewing Game 5, I have to say something. I don't know if you guys saw this quote. Let me share my thing again. Because this is another reason why, again, we're injecting life into the young, hungry Hawks, right? Look at this quote right here. This is Clint Capella, who can't shut his damn mouth, all right? So he's out here and he says, he's talking about Joel Embiid. He says, when you wear him out, everything becomes tougher for him. When the fatigue comes in, it's a different ballgame. So if you guys didn't hear what Clint Capella said last series too about the Knicks, he was like, I'm going to send them on vacation. All they do is talk, this and that. It's like, this is going to get very annoying. And Trae, he hasn't gone overboard, right? Like, he's kind of kept himself in check. But I did not want to have to go to this extent, right? Now this guy thinks he's doing something. Let me tell you something, Clint Capella. Joel's averaging 30 on you on a torn meniscus.
Yeah.
Don't talk about his fatigue, man. I'm telling you, he was not the same player yesterday.
Even last night, even yesterday, as bad of a game as he played, he had a play where he backed down Clint Capella, drop stepped, put his shoulder in him, and knocked him under the basket. The guy can't guard him at all. Like, literally at all, he can't guard him. Joel guarded himself last night by resorting to a bunch of bad jump shots. Clint Capella can't guard him. I don't know what this guy's talking about.
That's embarrassing.
Don't poke the bear, man. He messed up. If Joel's feeling good tomorrow night, man, you just poke the bear. See, Joel's a different breed. That's not good. That's not
good. You're right. I like that Capella did this. I love that Capella did this. Joel wants to dunk on his face now.
See, I'm confident. It'd be different if this was Ben Simmons because we know how he responds to this stuff. He just refuses to acknowledge it. Joel's just a different animal, man.
I hope Joel slams on Clint Capella. I hope we send these boys home, man. I really do. I feel like both the teams that we've played in these playoffs have had these kind of players that love the jaw like this. And I really just wish we were up 3-1 and we would have just ended it tomorrow. But, we got to get the dub. But anyway, speaking about Game 5, like, what are your guys' biggest adjustments? Like, we'll start with Romp. Like, what is the main thing you're looking for in Game 5? If there's one thing that stands out that must happen, and do we have to win this game tomorrow?
We have to win. If we lose, it's over. But I would limit Trae Young's paint touches because he's not a good three-point shooter. He's just average. If he gets it going, then obviously, guard him. But when he gets in the paint, he's unstoppable. He's one of the best lob passers in the league or even passers in the league. I mean, he had 18 assists. So I would blitz every single screen. Supposedly we're just a rock-solid defensive team, but we're allowing like 20-4 runs to the Hawks every game. So I would blitz every single possession. Don't let up. Who cares? Just blow them out. Can we play a complete game? We haven't played one complete game this whole entire series. So that's what I want out of the Sixers. Eliminate Trae Young's paint touches because the Hawks offense gets going when he's in the painted area.
Steve, what about you?
Right on. Take the ball. The Hawks are a terrible team. When the ball is not in Trae Young's hand, they look terrible. Like, I remember when they forced it out of his hands, they doubled. Tobias, the one good play he made last night was he came over and doubled the last second, and Trae Young had to give it up, and John Collins just threw a pass off of Clint Capella's leg or something like that. So just get the ball out of his hands. I don't care if you got a double, whatever you got to do. But on offense, man, things went to complete shit when they stopped moving the ball around. We got to be nobody on Atlanta can play defense. Tobias, whoever's guarding you, dude, get to the rim. Ben Simmons, same thing. Seth Curry's been playing great. I'm fully confident in him. I don't want to hear the excuse that Korkmaz is into the starting lineup. Like, move the ball around, get to the rim, be aggressive, man. It's not rocket science. It's basketball. The Hawks are not better than you. Nobody on that team can stop anybody one-on-one. Nobody. Not even Ben Simmons. You can't shoot a jump shot.
Yeah, I think the second half of yesterday looked as bad as the first half of the first game, and so I think that it's all an anomaly. I thought we should have swept this team. I should have been more realistic and saying maybe we'll have a bad half here and there, and they'll sneak out a win. And that's literally what they've done in these 2 wins. They snuck out a win because we played horrible for an entire half of basketball. I don't think we're going to see it again. I really don't. I think we're going to see what we saw in game 2 and 3, where we put together a complete package and win by 15, 18, 16. Not really a challenge. That's what I think is going to happen in the next 2. But you're right. The Hawks can't play any defense. Tobias Harris in the other games was just taking, Bogdanovich in the post, was taking whoever else in the post. These guys can't guard him in the post. He should dominate easily. Ben Simmons, I mean, even though the coach has to tell him to do it, if you have to tell him to do it, then tell him to do it. And he told him to do it last game, and he came out in the third quarter and scored 11 points, and he was up and under reverse layups and all kinds of stuff that we know he can do that he never does. It's just the craziest thing ever. But I don't think Atlanta is going to win another game.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking real early in tomorrow's game to how Joel looks, and 2, how he's used. I don't know if you guys noticed yesterday as well. He was not establishing himself in the low block like the entire game. The first half, I'm screaming. I'm like, what is going on? And Ben was actually aggressive in the first half. And then in the second half, it just flipped off. We just stopped going to it, and we had no identity. But like you guys said, we're going to win from the inside out. We have the size advantage. We're stronger than them. They can't stop us down low. I mean, Joel can fight through doubles and triples. But again, it really is whether he's healthy or not. Like, do you guys think Joel, like, say he comes out and he's a little bit iffy, like, where do we go from there? I could see Ben Simmons being used in the low block again, because when he is, well, and he's aggressive and it works. Tobias Harris has to get his buckets, and Seth Curry has to get his shots too. Like, we can't. I feel like the games that we play to our strengths and we play at our pace, we dominate this series. But in the second half, we played right into the Hawks mentality. We played right into how they wanted to play. Right? It's frustrating, man. You can see the difference in it.
I still can't believe it's 2-2. Like, I can't get over it. Like, you have Tobias, Ben, and Joel, and they were part of that Toronto series, and they understand how important Game 4 is. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just it's completely different if you win the game. Like, I don't have faith in this unit that they just all of a sudden they just let them back in it. Like, they just took it for granted, and I don't like that at all. Like, the first game, it was like Doc Rivers didn't want to coach in the first half. Let's have Danny Green on him. And then Game 4, we just let him back in it. Like, I don't know. Where's the killer instinct in this unit? I still can't. Like, how is it 2-2? Can someone explain that to me? Please. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It should not be. There is no killer instinct outside of Joel Embiid, and that's the sad part. And we've been seeing it all season. It's we win with Joel. Without him, it's like a scramble of players that are just like trying to put the ball in the hoop and running in circles. I don't know. It's just he has one leg and he's just out there throwing himself on the floor, and just that's why even though he was 0 for 12, I couldn't hardly say anything bad about him. I don't think he deserves it. I think he earned that 0 for 12 game. Somebody else that didn't do anything the whole season needs to do something.
I don't think I've ever felt so much different in terms of a win versus a loss on a team. Like, it's crazy. Like, after Game 2, we were on top of the world. We were like, this is how we need to play. And then we have a game like last night, and it's just like what are we watching, man? With how the other series is going in the East, this is literally our opportunity, right? This is our chance to get to the finals. And before the playoffs, we were saying, okay, this is a cakewalk to the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, we are here now, and based off all the injuries going on, we have a chance here to ideally get to the finals. We have to step on it, man. We can't keep taking this for granted.
Who do you all think starts? You ride with Ferk or you do something different?
That's tough. That is tough. Between him and Matisse Thybulle, it's like, do you want shooting or do you want defense? Because one has shooting and no defense, and one has defense and sometimes can make a three, but doesn't really stretch the floor. It's so tough. I just don't even know.
I don't know. I think you go with Ferk again, but again, he's a player where you really have to feel it out. Like, if he goes 0 for 3, I always say this, if he goes 0 for 3, take him out and bench him the rest of the game. Like, he is not hitting a damn thing. And one thing I saw yesterday, again, that does not work with Furkan, stop trying to be a point guard. This is not the Euro League. You are a catch and shoot type of player. Get on the wing and be Danny Green, okay? You are Danny Green's replacement. You're not unfortunately, we don't have a technical point guard on the floor, but you're not our point guard, Furkan. Stop trying to handle the ball. It's so ugly. It's so ugly, man.
So ideally, you would give Ben Simmons Korkmaz's mentality, because that guy is, I mean, he thinks he's the best player on the court a lot of times.
I'll give Court credit. Like, he's confident. This man will let it fly. But I'll tell you what, he's got to stop moving off the dribble, man. Like, and Doc's got to tell him, Court, stay on the outside. Ben's going to create you a look. That's how that goes. But it's crazy. Like, when Ben is playing off the ball, it's like nobody on the floor wants to take over the offense unless Tobias Harris is on the floor or obviously Joel Embiid. But it's like, that's why I like when Tyrese Maxey's in the game, because at least he tried. Like, that kid is quick like lightning. At least he'll take the ball, and if he overshoots it, he's going to at least try to get to the basket. But everybody else, whether it's Shake Milton now, whether it's George Hill, it's just like pass. Like, come on, man. Somebody take over.
Yeah,
sorry, you go.
This dude Koba said if you pass the ball to Korkmaz, you're not getting it back.
You're not, man.
Hey, I got to be honest. I like when Korkmaz is in the game because he is so confident that I actually believe that's going to go. Something's going to happen. Well, if you have Matisse in the game, they don't even guard him. And he's like, oh, should I shoot? Should I shoot it? Should I shoot it? And then you got Matisse and Ben in the game. And last game, for example, it was a close game, and we needed scoring. So I'm riding with Ferk rather than Matisse in that game because we need scoring. Our defense was fine, 36% from the field for the Hawks. I don't get this. The Sixers fans, how they harp on Furkan for making some mistakes, but then you allow Matisse Thybulle just to be an offensive liability and stand in the corner, and teams don't guard him. Like, when the Hawks see that, Trae Young's like, yes, I don't have to play defense. Matisse Thybulle's in the game. But when Ferk's in, he's at least running around, willing to take it off the dribble, and he has to actually play defense. Like, there's a couple times he cut, and Trae Young was like, I don't even know what Trae Young does on defense, to be honest. He just floats around looking to double team people. So, I don't know. It's just like a feel for Furkan and Matisse for me.
It's actually funny when Trae Young goes over to double somebody because it doesn't make a difference literally at all. It's hilarious to me. He's in no man's land. He can't play any defense at all. There's a couple plays where I saw Tobias kick the ball instead of taking it himself, kick it to Matisse Thybulle in the corner like 3 times.
God,
I was screaming, like, stop kicking the ball to Matisse in the corner. How is that our game plan? Tobias Harris kicking the ball to Matisse Thybulle. That should never happen.
Yeah, and another thing off of what Romp said, like, how come we're not targeting Trae Young in the pick and roll more? Like, I saw a few plays earlier this series where Tobias Harris had him in the post. He was toast, just like that. It was way too easy. Like, I feel like we're not playing to their weaknesses. Like, all you got to do is get Trae Young in a pick and roll, hit the switch, and, he's not guarding anything. He is not guarding you. I don't understand.
I don't get our offense, to be honest. I don't even know what we do. It's just like post up Embiid and hope it goes in because it's been going in all season. But like, we don't make it easier for Embiid. We don't make it easier for Ben either.
No, there's no point guard. We're the only team playing the game. We're the only team playing the game without a point guard. We give it to Joel. It works because we give it to Joel. They bring the double and triple. He kicks it out. We swing it. That's our whole offense. There's no point guard at the top. And then we have Shake, Maxey, and George Hill all coming up. We got 3 point guards that don't play in the starting lineup. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Anyway,
let me ask you guys something. Like, it's crazy that I'm even saying this, but like, can we win without Joel having to put up 37, like 40 points? Like, can we win a game like that? This is why I asked people before the playoffs. I said, as a number 2 option, is 22 a game enough from Tobias Harris? And people were like conflicted when they started to actually think about that. They're like, oh, okay, well, if Ben gives you 17 and Seth gives you 19, then yeah, of course.
Ben's
Is that
not
going
even
to happen
giving
every
you
game?
17.
I don't know.
We can sit here and talk about. See, this is what drives me nuts. I mean, obviously, for what we do here, we got to assess every player on the team. But at the end of the day, man, it just comes down to our big 3. Like the Stars just got to be better than the Atlanta Hawks. Like we can sit here and complain about Korkmaz, but I mean, the guy's only going to get the ball so much. Like Eastwood said, why is Tobias our second leading scorer who nobody on the Hawks can guard? Why is he kicking it to Matisse Thybulle, who's one of the worst shooters? Oh my god! Just
Matisse hit a couple, but it's just he's not stretching the floor. He's not bringing anybody over because they're going to let him shoot it all the time because they know if I let him shoot it 100 times, he's making 25, 30.
Yeah.
There was something that Doc did yesterday where there was like 6 minutes to go. He took out Tobias and he puts in Matisse. And the lineup was Ben, Matisse, Furkan, Joel, and I think Seth Curry or Shake Milton. And I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, you can't – like, that's another thing when it comes to Ben or Matisse. Like, you can't play these guys together. You can't play Ben and Dwight together because it's like, where's the shooting coming from? Just issues, man.
That's another thing with Ben. He makes the role players, they're supposed to have some errors in their game, like Matisse. He can't really shoot the 3-ball. But Ben Simmons, he makes that so much larger because he can't shoot or drive or do anything besides facilitate. So it's like, what are we doing, man? It's ridiculous at this point. And I told you, RB, in our video before the postseason, I said you can't win in today's NBA with Tobias, Ben, and Joel Embiid because most likely they're going to be on the court for the whole game, and it's just not enough 3-point shooting in a 3-point driven league. Tobias shoots 1 a game. Ben Simmons refuses to shoot, and Joel Embiid, I think he should take more threes, to be honest, when he's hitting them, not like yesterday. But there's just not enough 3-point shooting, not enough perimeter creation. But with that being said, if we lose to the Hawks, that's embarrassing. I was more talking about like against the Bucks and Nets at that point.
I just got to add one thing there, and it's like we're stretching out this series now, right? And it's like I keep questioning myself. I'm thinking back to the Lakers game and the Jazz game when we beat them fully healthy. Other than that, like, has this team truly been tested, or like this is such a weird year, and it's almost where we start to think we're like, how good is this team? You know what I mean? And I think we've done a heck of a job getting the 1 seed, all this and that. But it's almost like when you take into account all the circumstances that have gone, through this NBA season and even through the playoffs, it's like, where do we see our real test? You know what I mean? Is this our real test? Like we're going to game 5. We have to win this game. I thought we would win this easily. I don't know, man.
I was saying that a lot during the season because we can dominate a lot of teams with size and speed, so we can win a lot of games. So the NBA, like, there's at least maybe 75% of the NBA teams are just mediocre, right? So we can beat with the size and speed that we have. We can beat all of them. And the only real test we had the whole season was the Lakers healthy one time, and they were on a back-to-back, I'm pretty sure, which isn't – I mean, it doesn't matter. We beat them. But we didn't have many tests the whole season, and I was being negative a lot of the times. And people were coming at me like, why are you so negative? We're first in the East. Why are you so negative? We won 50 games 3 years in a row. Why are you so negative? I just didn't see many actual healthy teams play us. Every time there was a big matchup, somebody was sitting out.
Yep.
Every single time. I can't even believe we actually made YouTube videos for every single NBA game this season. We all did phenomenal jobs. It's ridiculous that we talked about it. That I'm like, I got to talk about the game. Like, I got to talk about the Sixers playing the Thunder without Embiid, and like, what did the bench do? I mean, it was not fun. And you're right. I don't think we've had we're a good team just on natural size and speed and skill, but we haven't had an actual test yet.
Yeah, I agree. Shout out to everybody in here. We got 220 in here, guys. Hit the like and subscribe, man. All these guys, great content creators. You know, we're all going through the same thing you guys are. We're trying to wait for tomorrow. I feel like every time we have a loss like we did yesterday, I can't wait to get to the next game because I just want to stop thinking about the last game. And the game's all right now, the other game, and that's an important game. And it's like we just have a chance here, man. And I feel like Philly's fan base deserves this chance right here. Like if the media is going to talk about what they want to talk about, okay? Let me tell you something. This is the year of the underdogs. This is the first time in 10 years or whatever that LeBron or Curry aren't in the finals. The Suns, in my opinion, may go to the finals. The Sixers could go. An underdog team, maybe the Bucks could go. Like this is a different year, and everybody has injuries. And at the end of the day, we have to come out and get it done. There is no excuse to not get it done. People at the beginning of the season thought we may be a 3 seed, a 4 seed, whatever you thought we may be. There's no excuse not to get it done now, or at least very close to that. And that's how I feel, man.
Do you see John Grant's comment? Can you put his comment on the screen right there? What are you guys whining about? You act like we have the worst team in the league. Every time we lose a game, it's the end of the world. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part. We will be fine. I want to know right now, John Grant, what does that mean? What does we will be fine mean? We're gonna be alive the next day. That's good. We will be fine.
Oh, man.
I don't know what we will be fine means.
I don't get how you could watch the series and be like, yeah, we'll beat the Nets and Bucks, let alone the Hawks.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Are we just like content with getting out of the second round?
No, we can't even get out of the second round. We're the Clippers of the East right now.
This is what I'm trying to say, Steven, and I feel like in the day-to-day, we get lost in it. But we were the same people, and all of you, it's probably you as well, John Grant, we're probably sitting here, oh, this is the easiest cakewalk to the Eastern Conference Final.
Oh, my God.
The Sixers shouldn't even lose the game.
And we get the 1 seed for.
Here we are going to game 5, and if we lose tomorrow, we are losing the series, okay? If Joel is not healthy, we may lose this series. But 2 weeks ago, oh, this is the easiest cakewalk to the Eastern Conference Finals of all time. Come on, John Grant. You got to do better than that, man.
Remember when people were saying we could beat this team without Joel Embiid?
Oh,
there were some people like, yo, we could rest Embiid for the first 2 games and we can still win. But no.
We will. He's right. We will be fine. We'll be sitting on a beach with cocktails in our hands while other teams are in the NBA Finals. We'll be fine if that's what it means.
Let me put this out here. Like, we're not saying the Sixers are going to lose this series. What we're saying is we expect more out of our team. Like, if we have championship aspirations, like we're just trying to keep it as objective as possible. You know what I mean? We'll be fine when the series is over and we win 4-2 and we're on to the next team.
Man, if you guys think we're toxic, then what the heck is 94 WIP, man? Did you see the nonsense coming from that station today? Like, give me a break, dude.
Yeah, they're negative.
This is sports talk.
They are super negative.
Did you see what WIP's poll was this morning? They said, was Joel Embiid trying to make his injury look worse?
Yeah, they hate Joel Embiid. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, they are haters. They are absolute haters. The thing is, like, most people that analyze a game are going to pick out the negatives, so people that don't really analyze a game are going to listen to sports talk and be like, why are you guys so negative all the time? Like, that's just how it is. So YouTubers are negative, sports radio is negative, everybody's a hater, and on Twitter, you're just supposed to get out your pom-poms and cheer for the team and not say anything about them. It's just the craziest thing ever. But WIP is definitely way more negative than anything I've ever heard. It's on a level of weird.
This is Philadelphia, man. I mean, come on now. Like, we got to at least. We don't want to be fun.
We want to win. We've been losing our whole lives.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I don't, and it's funny, like, we do this every day, so we see, like, both sides of it, right? One day we're getting, trashed by the Ben fanboys because we're being too harsh. But then again, it's days like this, like, where are they at? You know what I mean? Like, we're just trying to keep it as real as possible, man.
I was literally applauding this guy until last night. Like, even the game where he had 6 points, he still had 15 rebounds and 15 assists. And I got up on Twitter, podcast, YouTube, all this stuff, and I applauded him. I was like, you know what? I don't care. He sucks from the line. He's going out there and making things happen. But last night, like, I go on Twitter and everybody's like, oh, man, Simmons ripped down 8 rebounds in the first quarter. And somehow the rest of the way, he only gets like 3 more rebounds, and he, like you guys said, he attempted 1 field goal in the second half. So everybody gets up here and says keep that same energy. Where were you guys in the second half when he wasn't doing anything? I didn't see you on Twitter saying, "Oh man, you just grabbed 8 rebounds." Instead, you're ripping on Joel Embiid, who's actually attempting to win the basketball game.
Yeah, I just it's the craziest thing ever. 0 for 0 is better than 0 for 12, according to these people. It's the craziest thing. So they would rather every player on the team not shoot the ball and lose the game 120 to 0. And then everybody did great. Nobody missed. Everybody did great. It's so weird. Why are they getting paid by Ben Simmons? Why are they obligated to defend him this hard? This is stuff that fans in a high school basketball arena would be sitting in the top of the bleachers saying, "What the is this guy doing?" Like, this is stuff that normal people look at and say, "What the is going on?"
Right.
My mom, she's not a basketball aficionado. She's like, "What is he doing?"
It's embarrassing,
man. It doesn't, and it's just like where we were last year, and that's like I don't want to get too far off on that, but like when we went and redesigned our team this year, what did we say? We said we were going to build the team around Ben and Joel, right? We didn't say Joel was going to score 40 a game and Ben was going to just be our best defender. We said we were going to build it around Ben and Joel. That's why we expect more out of the guy. That's why we want that. We know his potential.
Right.
Like we don't talk about other players like this. We just want to win, man. And if we didn't view our team with a real chance of having the talent to win, then like there wouldn't be any point. But come on, man. Shout out to Secret Underdog with the donation. Thank you, my man. It says 4 great content creators. Again, all the names are down on the banner. So go sub everybody up. We still got a bunch of people in here. I just want to ask you guys, like, realistically, like, if we make it past this round, like, what is our chances of going to the finals? Like, do you guys think this is a finals team? Do we have enough?
No, we don't have a point guard. I think I would actually start Shake Milton because he brings something that no one else does. He can get to the rim whenever he wants to. Even in his short stint, he was getting to the rim. It's just confidence at this point. If I was Doc Rivers, I would sit him down in a room and be like, "Dude, come on, wake up. When you were killing it, you were a 6th man of the year candidate." So we need Shake Milton just to be a nice little point guard, because if he adds that dimension, it just brings another thing to the Sixers that we don't have. And it will take some pressure off of Embiid and even Simmons. So I think Shake Milton should get the start, and maybe he turns into the old Shake Milton, but I don't know at this point.
I think we can go to the finals. I don't think you'll see the second half of last night or what the first half of the first game looked like. It's all about if Joel Embiid's healthy and if he sleeps the night before, and and it's about Ben Simmons being aggressive, and it always has been. And it's about Doc Rivers staying on him and telling him to be aggressive. Whether Doc's telling the truth to the media or not, I hope he's not. I hope he's lying. As long as Doc's like, "Yo, go to the basket," when it's sad that you have to remind him, but if you have to remind him, do it. And when he's aggressive and Joel's healthy and Tobias then has the space to work in his space, I guess we can go to the finals. I mean, we're going to see a better team than we saw the second half of last night.
What would you guys think about Tyrese Maxey getting a start? Playing the point, have Ben moving off the ball more. What would you guys think about that?
I would love it.
I think Doc won't do it, but yeah, I would like.
I think it would provide a spark, to be honest. I feel like we need kind of a spark sometimes on offense.
Do you think we're there? I feel like that's like a desperation move. I mean, I guess we got to play with urgency. I don't think we're desperate yet. Like, I feel like that's like, if they lose, that's a move they do in game 6. But I mean, I don't know.
The Brooklyn Nets have James Harden on the floor, and they have 12 points, and the first quarter is almost over.
Damn.
That's why I actually take back my answer. I think we could win the East just because the Bucks. You saw the first 2 games; they completely ditched what got them there in the first place. They're terribly coached. If the Bucks play like they play, like how they have been winning, they could beat anyone. But just because Mike Budenholzer, the way he runs the team, and Giannis with his 3-point shooting, I think the Bucks could just choke it away, and we could beat them because we could play defense for sure.
I think we could own the Bucks, to be honest. I mean, Yeah, I mean, unless Brooke Lopez tends to turn into Steph Curry when he plays us, but
Oh,
Exactly.
Brooke Lopez has been terrible. Like
From the logo.
own him,
Oh.
and I mean, I feel like we can stop. I want to shut Giannis up. I really do. I kind of want to play the Bucks more now. Ever since he did that earlier this season, I feel like we could beat the Bucks, man. I really do. Shout out to Alec coming here with a donation. Appreciate it. Says we don't have enough, but we better beat the Hawks. If we don't beat the Hawks,
I'm done.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, guys. I really don't.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm living my best life around. This is the best offense of all time, and they have 15 points in the first quarter. James Harden just threw the ball into the second row. This is so bad.
Well, apparently, people are trying to troll saying that KD forced him to play to hide his legacy, but I don't think James Harden is healthy at all. He was literally ruled out yesterday. And then they came back and said, well, now he's questionable. Now he's trying to play.
If KD has to play by himself, he can't get it done. He can't. He has to have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson take the first three quarters. They
blew their series bad, man. The Nets, they had it. They're about to go up 3-0, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they just self-destructed themselves.
Exactly.
See, it's funny, guys. Before last night, didn't it feel like right before last night, right? The Nets are self-destructing. The Bucks, I mean, like Luke just said, they look like they have whatever locker room issue or coaching issue. And then all of a sudden, it's crazy, right? The playoffs are literally like
night and day,
24-hour league. Like all of a sudden, we're like, well, the Sixers can win the title. And then 24 hours later, it's like, guys, can't even beat the fourth.
I feel like other teams don't go through it like we do, though. I really don't. It's like, because it's when like we want to come out and play like we know how, it's frustrating, man.
That's what scares me, man. Like, why are we a flip the switch team? What have we proven to be that? Like, the Clippers are that way, but they got Kawhi Leonard, who's won 2 finals MVPs. So he kind of has a right to do that. But we're the Sixers. We haven't made it past the second round in so long. So, like, that's what scares me. Why are we doing that? Why can't we play a complete game?
Yep, and I agree with Alec here. There is no excuse to lose this series. If we were to ever lose this series, man, major changes would be made.
Yeah, you absolutely can't lose this series. You can't let Trae Young and, I mean, come on, Bogdanovich, John Collins, like these are not all-star players.
Ugh,
you can't have Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Seth Curry, Joel Embiid, on and on and on, lose to this team.
Yep, I agree. And shout out to Samaj with the $5 donation. Says Ben really has to step up. He's too talented not to be performing as the second best player on the team. Thank you, Samaj. I'm glad to see there's other people that can actually see this. But people tend to argue with me on this too. I want to hear what you guys think. They're like, Ben should have more touches, this and that. Like,
I'm so
overall, Ben is I guess he's the second best player on this team, but like, what option is Ben on the offense? Like, to me, he's like the fourth option. To be honest,
just gonna say, man, Seth Curry has become like the second or third option in the playoffs. Man, they literally, whenever they need a bucket, they sometimes they go to Curry over Tobias. I don't know why that is. I mean, I don't know how much longer Curry's gonna be. This is why it sucks, man. If for the people that don't watch the game, if they looked at the box score and saw that the Hawks shot 36%, you would have thought the Sixers just blew their doors off. You know what I mean? But boy, I want to get over that game, but I haven't seen a blown opportunity like that one in a long time.
Yeah, I think Seth Curry being the only combo guard, I guess point guard on your starting lineup is a recipe for disaster because he has flashes where he looks like Steph Curry. You know what I mean? But he's just not. He's just not that. He's gonna have games where he hits 2 or 3 step backs, and you're like, oh my God, Seth Curry's cooking. And then he's gonna have a game where he's 1 for 12. He's just not. You can't be in year 5 of the process relying on a guy that was a bench player for the Dallas Mavericks.
We're debating.
It's been the same thing, man. Sorry to interrupt you. Like when we had JJ Redick in the first 2 years of this era, it's the same thing. Like our offense was either an Embiid post up or it's like JJ Redick, who was literally like throughout his career was literally like a 6th man on most teams. And it's like he's our second scoring option. If we need a bucket, we're going to the JJ Redick dribble handoff. Like, come on. Oh,
but you know what it was, Steven? Like, Ben would always be aggressive, but as soon as he got figured out, and when we got to the playoffs a couple times and he got shut down, it's like, Like each year now, he's like changing his game to become like a different kind of player. Like remember his rookie year, how flashy Ben was? You know, he would get through 2 defenders, make a behind the back pass. Like he was always being aggressive though, and we talk about his jump shot, right? I don't even care about the jump shot anymore, which is crazy. It's like the free throws, the post game, the layups. Like, where is it? Where?
Dude, it all changed when teams stopped guarding him. That's when it changed. I'm serious. Watch his rookie highlights. They didn't know yet that you just don't have to guard him. They didn't know. They go up and guard him at the hip, and he was so quick. He'd get past somebody. He'd get in traffic. He'd throw a no-look pass behind his head. Like, when the defense isn't even near you, you can't do any of that. And then he was like, oh, now, well, I'm not going to shoot because I'm never going to because I don't want to. And his game's just gone when nobody guards him.
It's so sad that we're debating this in year 5. But I don't know about you guys. I've always been like, whenever Ben like scores an easy layup, I'm always like, he could do that every time. But now I'm realizing, because I said that like 2 games ago, I'm like, he can't do that every time because he has nothing in his bag. Like all he has is like transition buckets. That's what he relies on now. In the half court, they play 10 feet off of him, and he doesn't even look to score. And what can he do? He doesn't have anything besides that little hook shot. But even that has gone. I haven't seen that since like game 3 against the Wizards. So he has nothing in his bag. So to say, oh, he could just turn it on and do it if he wants to, I'm not even sure if I believe that anymore because there's just no skill anymore. It's just all transition buckets. In the half court, he's useless.
Real quick, shout out to Birds Nation 302 with the donation. We appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. But let me ask you, Romp, like, are we crazy or like is it like it feels like it's this year? You know what I mean? Like he at least last year he used to have some games where he would have 20, right? Like he would have 16, like he was averaging at least 16, and now it's this year it's like 8, 10, 12, 2. It's like as long as he gets his triple-double or close to it, it's like everybody's fine with it. And maybe it is Doc how he's using them in the offense, but it's so frustrating, man. It's like this is not what I wanted to see in terms of Ben Simmons, like his progression.
Oh, dude, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but in the last 2 games, he's had easy and 1 opportunities. And he just kind of does like a little fancy like move when he gets fouled, and he blows the opportunity. And I'm sitting here like, dude, you can't make a foul shot. Dunk the ball. You got fouled. You have an opportunity to dunk it, and he's doing this little jelly crap. I just don't understand this.
I hate really don't. He like one hands it when he's going up for the layup. Like, dude, just tuck the ball and run people over, man. Like, anyway, I got a stat for you guys. So, with all that being said, right, we know in the half-court teams, sag off of Ben. He doesn't have – I agree. He lacks like a move set or something. I have a stat. When Ben Simmons has 11 or more shot attempts in a playoff game, the Sixers are 11-3. When he has 10 or less field goal attempts in a playoff game, they are 6-9. So it's literally just aggression, man. Like we can sit here and get mad about, I think we could all agree. I could care less how he scores. Like if he just goes out here and attempts 15 shots, I could care less, but he doesn't.
Yeah, because he can get to the rim. He draws the defense. So when he his 11 field goals are all drives. So when he's driving to the rim 11 times, the defense has to change, and that takes pressure off of Joel and everybody else. He doesn't seem to understand that. Doc Rivers, well, you're saying he's having the worst season, like 8 points, 10 points, 9 points. What are the odds that Doc Rivers is up here telling the media that Ben Simmons doesn't need to shoot? The reason we fired Brett Brown is because we thought we were going to get a coach that's going to tell this guy he has to shoot the ball. And now I feel like Doc made him worse.
Crazy. Unbelievable. Shout out to Chin coming with the $5 donation. We appreciate it. Says there's no one on the Hawks that can guard Ben, and they don't play to limit him. All he has to do is attack the rim. I can't agree more.
He can't make a layup though.
They can't guard Joel. They can't guard Ben. Like what? Like where's the killer instinct in your head to say go downhill? And that's the worst part. We see it for like 5 minutes in a game, and then it just shuts off. It just goes to bed. Do not disturb. Like, come on, man. I don't get it, man.
What
I don't
happened
think
to his
so.
touch around the rim?
Mm.
I feel
Yeah,
like every
it's
layup he
weird.
just like destroys the backboard.
I feel like
It's like
he just. And people were getting mad at me yesterday when I said he should have got that rebound on the Joel missed
Oh,
layup.
I know.
Did
Did you
Bubble
see how he
fingers
tried
right
to
now.
grab the ball though? He was like this, long arm. Like,
Oh.
come on, man.
Oh, dude.
he
Grab
tried to
the
tip it
ball.
in. He tries to tip it in, even though he's 7 foot, basically. Like grab the ball and dunk it. I don't
Right.
understand.
It's
Yeah,
frustrating, man.
But if you rewatch the third quarter of not last night, but the game before that, where Doc told him at halftime to be more aggressive, he looked like rookie Ben Simmons. Gallinari was on him. He hit him with a double crossover and got fouled. He had another one where up and under finish at the rim. He had another one on the right side where he normally would have stopped as soon as he crossed half court,
Yeah.
and he just threw the ball and beat everybody to the rim and dunked it. It was like, oh, this is the Ben Simmons we've been screaming about the whole season, and we got 1/4 of it.
There was one play where he was taking up on a fast break, and the Hawks defense was like, "Oh, he's not going to take it to the rim," but then he took it to the rim and he scored.
Yeah, that's
Like
what
I feel
I'm
like the
talking about,
Hawks defense is like, yeah, he's not gonna take it, so we might as well just play the shooters because he's looking to pass.
Bro, only in Philadelphia do we get players like this. I'm telling you,
I'm
man.
saying, man,
It's just
so
frustrating,
sad.
man. Shout out to With God E coming with the $15 donation.
Damn.
Thank you. We appreciate it, man. He said Ben has to be traded this offseason. 4 years in the league, millionaire. He didn't even say 30 million. He said millionaire. And you can't work on reconstructing your shot. Lonzo Ball and freaking Markel Fultz have done that. He has no work ethic. And there was a podcast with Stephen A. and John Clark. And Stephen A. was like, yeah, I think Ben's work ethic is off. And then my response to that is, well, why are you posting YouTube videos of you shooting in a gym in L.A. in a scrimmage game? And you won't do it now. He trolled us. It's just sad, bro. But I agree 100%. Like, Markel Fultz is out here chopping. Come on, Ben.
Brooke Lopez is shooting threes.
Lonzo Ball was like, he couldn't even shoot a basketball his rookie year. And I think I was pounding the table for him at the trade deadline. He was shooting the lights out. Yeah.
He was shooting it from over here. Remember his rookie jump shot? He was shooting it from over here.
Tyrese Maxey couldn't shoot in the beginning of the season. And now he's shooting like
big
above
last night.
36%.
Look, I'm sorry, y'all. Ben, and I've been saying this forever, like, Ben has a jump shot, bro. And when he shoots it, most of the time it goes in. So it's like, it's not like Giannis.
He don't got the confidence. I don't think he has it because like half of a jump shot is being confident, you know? You can't.
You're telling me you haven't seen about 5 threes this year from the corner where he just lets it fly and it just, or in an overtime game with a 2-point deficit where we already lost, he just lets it fly from 40 feet and it goes in.
Yeah, but if he misses that shot, he's not going to shoot for the next 25 games. That's
right, but he makes the shot. He makes the
But he's never going to take the shot because he has no confidence.
But what I'm saying is it's not like his shot is completely broken where he can't make a shot.
It's not like Giannis.
The more I think about it,
man, he has a fan base like screaming for him to shoot the ball. Whereas, like, I'm sure Bucks fans are telling Giannis to stop shooting because they'll shoot him out of games. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. We celebrate when the guy shoots. He doesn't even have to make it. You know what I mean? Like, there's been times I've been at games, for example, where he just attempts a three and everybody starts losing their mind.
Which is sad because how many years have they been doing that? Like if he's still on the team next year, it's going to be the same thing. Ben wide open for three. The crowd goes nuts. He shot an NBA 3-pointer.
When do you guys think Joel just gets tired of it and says, you know what, either I'm out of here or you get this guy the hell off my team?
I think he's already tired of it.
You know, like I feel like there's no way he's okay with it. There's just no way. You can only hide it so much.
Either Tobias has to go if we lose or Ben Simmons. You can't bring back both of them. It has to be one of those two. Because if we didn't have Tobias, it would be a little less because say we replace Tobias with CJ McCollum. He actually takes 3-pointers. So it would open up the offense a bit. But that's what has to happen if we lose to the Hawks.
I think Ben Simmons could learn how to shoot right-handed better than he shoots left-handed if he had the work ethic. Seriously, because he naturally goes to his right hand on the hook shot. His foot, the way that he steps in, the way that he holds the ball and stands is like he's going to shoot it with his right hand. So it reminds me of like me trying to shoot a ball with my opposite hand. So that's probably why, to me, that seems like why he's not confident. He catches the ball and he doesn't want to shoot it because it's like I picture myself being forced to put up a left-handed shot. I'd be like, oh, shit, somebody else take the ball. I don't know.
I got 2 comments for you guys. First and foremost, shout out to With God E coming with the $10 donation. Much love to you, man. He says, "Oh, and I don't care if he has a good game and closes out the series. We're not winning a chip with this dude. Let's face reality and be real. On top of that, he's soft." We're starting to lean towards that way, man. Just and what was it? Was it game 1 or no? Was it game 5 of last series when he came out with that Instagram post and he said, "They love me, they hate me. They love me, they hate me." Like, I forget when that was, but that pissed me off too. But let me put these 2 comments out there. You guys run with them, all right? Number 1, this man put up 42 against the Utah Jazz without Joel, going downhill every possession. I see someone said it in the chat, so it brought it up. He went downhill every possession, put up 42 against the Jazz without a jump shot. Zion Williamson, I think he came into Philadelphia and beat us. I think he had like 39 against us. No jump shot, essentially. Maybe a couple. Going straight downhill, aggressiveness and attitude. The other thing I'll say is there was a game about a month ago against OKC where Ben pulled up for 2 elbow shots. Made both of them. Both look clean. Nice form, structure, and everything. And everybody was swearing, this is the game changer for Ben Simmons. He's got it in rhythm, right? We haven't seen it since. But let me ask, did that shot look bad? No, it didn't. And he made them. When he shoots them, they go in. And that's why I'm frustrated. You guys can run with that, man. If you don't have anything to say, it's fine. But
I don't think he needs a jumper. It's just that he thinks he's a point guard when he's not a point guard. So if you have a point guard, I'm fine with Ben Simmons playing the 4 position or whatever and bringing it up here and there. But now that he's our point guard, you got to shoot the rock. It's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, come on, man.
But how can he play the 4 without space in the floor?
Dude,
put him in the dunker spot.
That's terrible spacing.
He needs a jump shot, bro.
The only position in the history of the NBA that can get away with not shooting the ball is a center. And he can't shoot. And he can't play center either.
Trade him then.
That can't even happen anymore. Almost every center can shoot. Dwight Howard can even shoot free throws better than Ben now.
No, I know.
I just don't. His whole game is driving to the rim, but now he's so bad at shooting free throws, he doesn't even want to drive to the rim. So what?
Yeah, he's used right.
What else is there? There's nothing now.
He's got a confidence issue, bro. He does not want to fail one bit. He's trying to like prove to us that we could win a title with how he is. He doesn't want to fail, and I don't know. He's just trying to avoid the of like getting traded from Philly. He's gonna get traded, man.
I just think he's always been content. I've said it on YouTube before. He walked into the league because he has a natural ability that 99.9% of people will never have. You'll probably never see a dude his size with that speed and agility. And that was good enough for him to be the number 1 pick. It just was. And I don't think he ever worked on his game, and I don't think he has worked on his game since, and I don't think he really cares that much.
Yeah.
Ben was airballing 12-footers warming up in the arena yesterday. That's the clip I was talking about.
Saying, man, I shared that one clip with you guys. It's like he doesn't even practice like game shots. Like, remember we used to every night we'd get on Twitter and he's shooting corner threes. And actually, Eastwood, I remember I used to log on before. This was great. Twitter was good back then. I would log on to Twitter and everybody's in the comments like, "Oh my God, look at Simmons go!" And Eastwood would like retweet it. There was like a streak you had every single time. You're like, I forget what you said. You were like, "Yeah, he's not shooting this in the game" or something like that. I'm like, why does everybody fail to realize this? And then I sent you guys that clip. I don't even know what that was. One-legged jump shots that he missed like 8 in a row. I mean, I've never seen him take that shot in a game. My thing is this. I want to go back to what you said, RB. You had said he had dropped 42 on the Jazz. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league. Like this again. Let's go back to this. With or without Embiid, the Hawks have nobody that can stop him. There's no reason why he can't get to the rim and finish every time. You should dunk and finish every single time. There's nobody that can guard him one-on-one. Like, I don't understand. We can sit here and talk about a jump shot and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, he gets up here. And what has he been saying all season, by the way? He says, I don't care about defensive player of the year, this, that, and the other. I care about winning a championship. Well, then go out there and prove it, man. Lay it out there like Embiid did.
And he'll probably have like one good game where he just takes over. but then I know the next 6 games he's just going to disappear. It's just the fact of Ben Simmons. And why is it that he has to have extra motivation for whenever he goes off? Like everyone was talking about, I want Defensive Player of the Year. And that's why he went off against Rudy Gobert. He was pissed off, and he actually played like he had some balls. But when he doesn't have that extra motivation, when the fans aren't on him, he just plays terrible and plays like a little baby. And probably tomorrow, since everyone's on him, he's going to step up, have 25 points. But then again, he's just going to go back in his shell for the next 6 games. And that's just another sign that he doesn't care and doesn't want to get better, because he needs that extra motivation in order to actually play up to his ability.
And when he does that, his defenders will be like, Ben scored 25, so can you guys shut up now? Like, not if he scores 2 next game. No,
yeah, they'll be like, you're a hater.
This is crazy, man. I've never seen a situation like this, to be honest. But again, this is Philly. Shout out to Blay with the $10 super chat. Appreciate it. Says, I think Ben has had everything handed to him on a platter. He needs to be sacked and traded for him to learn how to take the next step. Unfortunately, he won't reach that in Philly.
Yeah, he needs a wake-up call.
Got traded earlier this year, and then he woke up. I remember around the All-Star break, he woke up, and for 2 weeks, he was averaging like 18 points, and we were like, yes, he woke up.
But I love the Lonzo Ball and Markelle comparisons, because those are players that had to improve their game to try to get somewhere. Mm-hmm. This dude was drafted on potential, and then given a max contract again on potential. It was like the Andrew Wiggins situation. Like, he was drafted on potential, and then they were like, all right, he's not where he should be, but we're going to give him a max contract and still hope that he gets there. The other players are trying to get to that level of respect, so they're like, I got to keep improving my game and try to prove to people that I can do something. I don't think he's been put in a situation yet where he has to improve.
Right, and I think he still gets defended, and every other part of his game is so good that it still makes him at least some type of a valuable player. Yeah. And that's why, I don't think everybody has come to their wits yet, where it's like, are we bad people for expecting a man to shoot a jump shot? Like, this is year 5, you know what I mean? Like, we're trying to win a championship here.
It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard of. Like, in growing up watching basketball, if a star player scored 3 points in the second half of a playoff game, the entire world will be roasting him to shreds. So I'll never understand it.
But DJ, you gotta add his assist too, because that counts to his points. So technically, he had 12 points yesterday, but he also had 9 assists. So he scored over 20, according to them.
Yeah, he created 47 points of offense.
Guess what? Trae Young had 18 assists on top of 25 points. Jeez.
Exactly. What's that? 80 points of offense?
Damn.
It's crazy because at the end of the day, Ben has been one of my favorite players, and I love him as a player, but it's I just can't keep going through this, having the hope that he's going to come out and play.
I love him and I hate him, and I know there's a one personality that I love, and there's one that I hate. I know I'm going to get the one that I hate sometimes. I know once in a while I'm going to get the one that I love, and I'm stuck on that hill. I'm going back and forth every day. Ben Simmons was great. Oh, I hate this guy. Ben Simmons was great again.
Yeah. Yep. And this will be the last thing we talk about. Shout out to Burzation with the $5 donation. Appreciate it. Says Sixers, Joel Embiid eligible for a supermax after all NBA team nod. I saw someone ask this in the chat earlier. Would you hesitate to give Joel a supermax contract? I think it's an interesting question. I'll let you guys go first. Anyone that wants to take that.
All right, I'll start. If it was my choice, I would strip Tobias and Ben's contract in a little bit each and put that towards Joel getting a supermax. But you can't pay. Is Joel worth a supermax? Yeah, but I don't think how can you afford to pay him that when Tobias and Ben are both? I don't know. Whatever. I guess the NBA keeps raising it.
But just saying, take money out of the factor, and just say we could pay him. You wouldn't hesitate at all to pay him. Is that what you're going with? Because honestly, I don't know.
That's a good question, man.
Just based off his health, but
after last night and just this series with the minor meniscus tear, that's where I'm at. I'm deflated. I love the guy. I think he's the best. I think he's the most skilled person that size I've ever seen play basketball in my life. Mm-hmm. And he's just never had a whole season in playoffs healthy. Every single year, this is what we get. It's not his fault, but it sucks. But I would definitely hesitate to give him a supermax because I don't know if he's going to be done in 2 years.
It's a good question, man. I really don't know. I don't have an answer.
I would give it to him because I believe that he can stay healthy. It's just that he needs to stop doing jumping as much. I think he'll mature. We've seen it at times where he is relaxed and doesn't take risks. But then there's also a side of him that just goes crazy, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to try to dunk on Robin Lopez." But I think as he matures, I think he'll just be like, "Oh, I could do this without being an athletic freak." So that's what I'm banking on.
That's a good call. He does have a guard's mentality, and when he gets that like pump fake and takes one dribble, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to yam on everybody." And we're like, "No, stop."
All the fans are like, "Ah." Look away for a second.
And Vincent says, heck no, I wouldn't hesitate to pay Joe. What kind of a question is that? It's a logical question. Like, when you actually think about the future. And I feel like a lot of people in this fan base are too nearsighted. Like, they just think everything is pretty on a silver platter. Like, no, we actually have to think about this. Like, of course, if it meant Joel was going to stay completely healthy, I'm giving it to him every day, twice on Sunday. But, I would probably end up giving it to him. But it's just like you got to take the risk, Like, I mean, this guy gets injured multiple times a year.
Yeah.
It's worrisome.
Yeah, he's kind of one of those players you have to just go with it and hope that he's healthy because you're never going to have a player like him again, I guess. So you're just
exactly.
like, here's your Supermax. Hope you don't get screwed.
RB, let me ask you this. So yesterday's game, he's on a torn meniscus. He's got back issues. He didn't sleep at night, as DJ said. And he still, in my opinion, was a huge impact of why we were in that game. Yeah, he was missing shots, but defensively, he was unbelievable. And he was like the only guy grabbing rebounds. So, like, that was his lowest of lows. And he still had such a big impact. That's why I'm banking on him for the future. Is that fair?
I mean, I agree with you. Like, we have to rock with Joel. It doesn't matter what happens, man. Now, I don't agree with some of the people that come in the comments and they say, oh, well, why is Joel playing so hard? Why is it like – to me, that's just how Joel plays. Like, you can't really take that out of him. Like maybe on a free dunk, like he doesn't have to windmill it. Yeah. But, if he's going up in traffic, like you can't really control that. It's not our fault that you have to ask our center to essentially bring the ball down the floor and control the tempo and pretty much, I mean, play like an isolation player sometimes. It's not his fault, but he's just that great,
Yeah, and I don't think you'll ever really change a player's mindset anyway. We try to get Carson Wentz to stop running outside the pocket.
There you go.
You're never going to change that. If he played like Tim Duncan, he would play till he's 40. Turn around bank shots all day. Like you're just never going to get him to do that.
Yep.
And I think it would be pretty hypocritical for me as a Ben Simmons negative Nelly to be like, oh, Ben Simmons doesn't play hard enough, but then also criticize Embiid for giving it 100%.
Yeah, how about that? We want Joel to calm down and
right.
What a world.
Crazy, man. Shout out to Chin with the $5 super chat says, pay the process or restart the process.
Oh, God.
You're hitting me deep now.
He needs to stop going 0 for 12. He needs to start not shooting at all like Ben Simmons. He needs to go 0 for 0. That's what he has to do, man.
Oh, man.
I don't know, man. I think a lot lies in the balance over the next couple of weeks. I really do. And then if, just say, like, hypothetical, we get to the Eastern Conference Finals and lose, then it's like, was this a successful season? Was it not? Like, what if we lose to the Bucks in the Eastern Conference? Like, I don't know, man. You're gonna have people on both sides always.
I think at the age that both of these players are at, Ben and Joel, this is the last season where you decide whether you're going to move forward with both of them or not. So, you win a championship, cool. If you don't, we move on to a different idea, I guess. So,
who knows, man? It's going to be tough, but. Let's end it off with some positivity, man. I think we're going to win tomorrow. I think we're going to get the dub. If his knee looks good. But I'll tell you, I'll be. They had him as questionable on the injury report. They should have just said he's playing already. We know he's playing, and if he ever did not play, I won't watch the game. If he doesn't play, I'm not watching the game. Like,
you know you're gonna watch, bro.
No, I'm not watching the game. I'll watch.
No,
You're watching the
There's
game.
no way you're not watching.
I know you. You watched the Tyrese Maxey coronavirus game with 7 players on the roster.
Yeah, that was the best game of the year.
Right. If that was a playoff game, I wasn't watching it.
Yeah.
You guys are telling me you're going to sit here and sit through the Sixers without Joel?
I think he's going off tomorrow.
Be rough.
I think he's pissed off.
I think he's going off too.
And Clint Capella.
Did you hear Hawks fans say that he got steroids in the locker room?
Oh my god!
I saw
that dude.
Because the second quarter he looked okay. He was hitting the turnaround fadeaway. He had a play where he finished over Capella in the paint. It was like, oh, Joel went to the locker room and came back like an animal, and then that all went away again in the third.
I think Joel's going to go off for like 40 again. He's going to take it personal if healthy. But I hope whatever they do works their magic because he did not look good yesterday, man.
Can we get rebounds too?
That'd be
boxed out
and make foul shots. I feel like everyone is getting affected by Ben Simmons because like we miss like 1 of 2 like every now and again, and it pisses me off.
Chin says anything less than a ring is a fall for me. Our window isn't big. Crazy, man. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, if we don't win this year, like, what else can we do around this core? Like,
well, here's a good way to look at it is we have Daryl Morey, and he's never been one to have a mediocre team. He gets rid of players like nothing, dude. He came in and traded Tracy McGrady and a couple other guys right away. Like, these guys are getting towards their prime, time to flip the switch. Like, he does not waste time. So, if it's the end of the era in 2 or 3 years, I don't think Daryl Morey's going to waste any time moving on to something else.
I got a question for DJ. Are we ever going to get a point guard?
I think. I think that I don't even think Daryl Morey likes Ben Simmons. I've said this before.
Yeah.
I've heard him talk about other players. I never hear him say Ben Simmons' name. He says Danny Green is a warrior and puts his body on the He never says anything about Ben Simmons. I think he's like, listen, I don't know what this guy does on the court. If we win with him, that's fine. If we don't win this year, I'm trading him as fast as possible. And he already tried to trade him once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Daryl Morey knows the game from a basic level, like all of us pretty much do, and we want a point guard on the floor. If we trade Ben Simmons, we would all want it to be for somebody, an alpha guard, as people call it, a Dame Lillard type of player.
Yep. Shout out to Crew with the $2 donation. Says Sixers in 6. Hawks got extremely lucky. If everything goes right, I think we win this in 6. Even though it shouldn't come down to that, but we just got to get our big boys some rest, Yeah,
I don't think the Hawks are good enough. I don't think the Hawks are good enough to win this series, but looking forward to Milwaukee or Brooklyn. I mean, I think Brooklyn are frauds. They're getting spanked right now, and I'm loving every second of it. But that's definitely the biggest test of the year. One of those two teams.
I'll tell you what. Before we get off here about this Brooklyn game, if Brooklyn loses, they're done. They are done. They lose 3 in a row. They go back to Milwaukee down 3-2.
Yeah,
I don't think they're coming out of that.
Yeah, and then guess what? These guys are 31, 32 years old, dude. This is not like something you can build on or something. They basically signed all these guys to win a championship right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, with how the Knicks are emerging in New York, it's like Brooklyn has pretty much one more year after this to try to get it done with that core. Then it's over, man.
Well, that's why this season should be considered championship or bust for the Sixers, because there's never been a better opportunity than now, man. No LeBron, no Kawhi in the East. Like, the Brooklyn Nets are banged up. I mean, we were the 1 seed. Like, why did we get the 1 seed, guys, to face easy competition in the first 2 rounds? And the Hawks are about to take – I mean, they're pushing us 7 games damn near, There shouldn't be any more, like, the players shouldn't need any more motivation. Simmons shouldn't need any more motivation. Like, it's right there, man. Like, if they just go out there and play a full game of basketball every single night, they can bring home a championship.
Yep. Shout out to this hopeful Hawks fan here. Sixers have been very lucky that bench players have shot well and my Hawks haven't. Tides are changing. Hashtag Go Hawks.
What do you mean? Gallinari's playing like prime Carmelo Anthony. Also, can we stop? Can we stop Gallinari? I'm so sick of him getting to the foul line whenever he wants to.
I'm sick of Bogdan, man. Whenever he hits a three, this dude acts like he's like the second coming of Klay Thompson. Like, dude, calm down. You have Seth Curry guarding you because
he goes like this.
Oh, dude.
Well, he's actually good though. Like he was good before the series. Gallinari was terrible.
Yeah,
I kind of like that. I think Gallinari comes in and like controls the tempo and everything. He's a veteran. Like, I don't know. Gallinari comes in and makes things happen.
It's because we're making him look like prime Carmelo. It's like we're buying
That's
every
the guy
pump
they stick
fake
on
he
Ben
gives.
sometimes. That guy can't move his feet. Come on.
No, he can't move at all. Tobias did a finger roll right over top of him 2 games ago.
He gets superstar whistle too. If you touch him, they're calling him, bro. I don't know what's with that.
Drummer Boy says we sound defeated. Well, we're not defeated, man, but we definitely are hopeful for tomorrow, man. We got to get the dub, man. We got to get the dub.
After watching Joel Embiid last game, it's hard to not be defeated. The guy looks like guy looked tired and worn out and injured. I don't know. And if he's injured, we're done. So.
And then Ben looks at that and he's like, I'm not gonna step up. Nah, I'm good. I still think the Sixers are the better team, but I get really negative after losses. So
Dude,
tomorrow, if we win, I can be like, yeah, we're going to the championship. That's just how I am.
That's how we all are. That's Philly, man. But we got to come out tomorrow, man. And I'll say this to close it off: like we have to set the damn tone, bro.
Yes.
Yep.
No playing around. I can't keep playing with our food. Last game we came out, we were up big. Hawks couldn't shoot a lick. They're coming into our building, man. They're coming into our building. That place is going to be bumping. Not like now. I thought Atlanta was going to be louder. They actually weren't. And what I mean louder, like just from seeing them against the Knicks, like I thought Atlanta would be going absolutely nuts. Like they really didn't come off that way to me. But Wells Fargo, I mean, that place was loud. When Trae Young went to the free throw line, the whole place was rattling, man.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, there's nothing like Philly sports. The city lives for it, man.
Yep. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody in here. Still 240 people in here. You guys are awesome for listening to us rant. We had to have a little therapy session. You know, you don't have to pay for this therapy. You come here, rant, give your thoughts.
Thank you guys. I needed this. Me and Luke were on the phone for a little bit before this, and me and him were contemplating if we even care about Philly, if we even care about sports anymore, honestly. So,
We were down bad.
I'm ready to pull out a
feel
jersey
a
and
little
lace
bit
him up,
relieved.
honestly.
I
If
hope
the
you
best
guys
doesn't want to shoot, I will.
I hope you feel a bit relieved now.
Feel
At
great.
least more than earlier today. Because I know all of us were frustrated.
There were still so many things I wanted to say, so I'm glad I got to come on here because I made a YouTube episode this morning, but I didn't like rewatch the game and take notes like I normally do. I just came up there and said things. And so I was like, there's so many like things I forgot to like in detail things I forgot to really talk about. So I'm glad we did this.
Yeah, man, no doubt. We definitely got to do this again. But again, shout out to all the guys up here. Philly Take with RB, Romp 2.0, Daily Drip, and Run It Back Philly. All the names are down on the banner. Go sub all these guys up. We'll all keep covering the content here in the playoffs. This is where you come and get the real content, man. We're going to give it to you straight as we see it. Even the Hawks fans, I don't even know if the Hawks have content creators. I was trying to.
I couldn't find any.
Yeah,
I
couldn't
found
find
one. I found one, and he has like 350 subs. And he was so biased, man. He was
forget
making me mad.
I searched
All the
Hawks
Hawks
Sixers
fans,
and I
just
found
love
I
them.
searched Hawks Sixers and I found like all of us and Nitro Freak. That's all I found.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well,
there you
he's
go.
basically an Atlanta Hawks fan, if we're being honest.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, shout out to all the Hawks fans that keep on flooding our chats. Keep coming around. We appreciate you guys, and we will hopefully end you in the next couple games. But look,
They
I
need the
got
content. Nobody's giving it to them. They need the content.
there. You go. So shout out. I wonder, like Hawks fans, like who do you guys go to for your like season content? Like do you just not watch YouTube and then just come and like flood out? And like, I don't know. I'll think about it, but
Yeah, I think they're on YouTube looking for highlights of the game, and they see our videos under the highlights. That's literally what it is.
like I'm saying, like what do they do the whole season though? Like when they play every other team.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never even.
point.
Yeah, I just found. This is the first time I've ever heard from Hawks fans.
Yeah.
Not a legitimate fan base, I guess, huh?
Exactly, man. But anyway, shout out to these guys up here. We're about to hop off. Thank you all for tuning in. Let's get a damn W tomorrow night, man, and then we'll feel better. We get a W tomorrow, I'll feel really, really confident. But I'm gonna be sweating up until game time tomorrow. Until they say Joel Embiid is in, and until I keep going through warm-ups looking good, like, because I mean, like DJ said on his video, I was watching today. He was like, "What the heck is going to change between yesterday and tomorrow?" Like, they better give him he better get like a 12 hours sleep. He better get all the medication he needs or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. He's having all, I mean, it's top of the notch, top-notch treatment.
Yep.
You know what I mean? He's getting, I don't know. I hope he slept in an ice bath or something. I don't know what he has to do.
Shout out to everybody. You guys have a great night. We will catch you guys on the next one, man. Peace.